Hello, sisters. Welcome to the season two of the Rising Feminine Online Temple, which is a 7 days initiation for women to journey back to their true essence. My name is Janita D'Souza, your feminine life stylist, and also the keeper of this online temple, where I have gathered visionaries from around the world to join forces and initiate you in your authentic feminine. And a big part of my work as a feminine lifestylist is to invite women to indulge into rituals every day so that you feel nurtured, nourished, and fulfilled in your daily busy lifestyle. So, as part of this online temple, I invite you to create some sacred container, maybe light a candle, grab your journal, gift yourself this time to receive the offerings of the teachers present in this online temple because each one of them have a very special message for your initiation. And joining us today is Shelly Bullard, where she is going to guide us to how we can become or embody your irresistible feminine energy to create a reality that is beyond your wildest dreams. And Shelly has been an inspiration to me since last 10 years as well. I've been following her blogs and her work in Mind Body Green and so excited to have her presence here. But before we begin into juicy conversation with Shelly and going to all those beautiful teachings and sharings by her, I would firstly like to read about her to you so that you also get an idea of her sacred work. So, Shelly Bullard is a licensed marriage and family therapist, love coach, and spiritual teacher. Through her articles, courses, and coaching, she has guided hundreds of thousands of people to find their true essence of love within, become the embodiment of this essence of love, and create relationships that their hearts truly desire. Shelly was also named the Love Guru as one of the 100 women to watch by Mind Body Green, and her work has been featured in Cosmopolitan, Yoga Life magazine, the Omega Institute, the Goodman Project, Elephant Journal, as well as many other blogs, publications, and podcasts. Those who are ready to take their experience to the next relationship, the next level of love, can visit her on her website, and I will have the link below for her. Welcome, Shelly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I hear the roosters in the background. So I'm in Bali and there are roosters here. So that's going to be a part of this interview. But yeah, we welcome them too.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really good to hear them because, it's like the natural alarm.
Yeah. And well, they're actually kind of a masculine essence. So it's really interesting that we're going to be speaking about the feminine, but that's a real strong masculine energy coming in as well. So yeah. I love it.
It's really interesting. So before I jumped onto this call, I did a small meditation just to tune into the energies of our conversation and you and me and what we're going to bring forward. And I pulled up a goddess card that I want to share with you.
Yeah.
And can you see that? It's Isolde, and she's about undying love.
Oh yeah. I'm feeling that.
Yeah, and I was thinking that, oh my goodness, this is so much of how I have seen your work as well, like how you teach, the relationship and the irresistibility and, falling in love, and the undying love was just like a confirmation that, yes, I can't wait to talk with you.
Yeah, that actually brings tears to my eyes. That's so beautiful. I was actually just having a conversation with friends about the undying love, that love that is, and it was just a few minutes ago, actually. It's the love that there's nothing you can do about it because it exists and there's no way it can't exist. And it could come through as love for another person or love for a place, or, I have experienced that in my romantic partnerships and even partnerships that have where we've parted, but that love, that eternal love is there. And it's like stamped in stone. It will never go away. And so it's so beautiful that that is the card that you chose, because that really resonates for me always and also right now. Yeah.
That's really interesting. And yeah, these goddess cards are always right spot on, you know, they're never wrong. So Shelly, before we begin, I would be interested to know, how did you come along, you know, doing this work that you're doing? Where did it all begin for you?
It's a beautiful question. Well, it began on November 25th, 2011. Seriously, that's the day I had a spiritual awakening. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know on that day that it was a spiritual awakening. It took a long time it didn't take too long for me to realize it was a spiritual awakening. I'll talk about what that is in a second. But it's taken a really long time for that to like really integrate and become embodied. And so the awakening was that first awakening, and I've had many since, and this can happen to us. We can have multiple spiritual awakenings to ourselves. But what happened on that particular day was I somehow felt, I always touch my heart. I felt that I was more than just this body. I felt that I was this energy, this infinite energy that was way beyond Shelly. And it was an energy that we all are. And something in my heart and in my knowing, something became aware of that energy within myself. And I somehow recognized on that day that this was the truth. And we can't put words to it. You know, this is why, like, there's so many names for spirit, God, essence, infinite nature, love. There's so many names because we can't quite name it. But I realized on that day that life was about being that. Life was about embodying that essence and moving with that essence and letting that essence move through me, through this body and through all bodies. I recognize that was that's everyone's purpose. Like when you go way deep down, that's the true purpose, that's what it is to become authentic, is to find your true essence, your true voice within, and embody that, speak that, become that. So I guess on that day, for whatever reason, I was ready to discover that. I did. I went through a lot since then, learning how to embody that. And in particular, I'm interested in learning how to embody that in romantic relationship, because that's the hardest place to embody it. That's the place that is where we carry the most wounding, the most, you know, we forget our true essence often in romantic relationships. So that's really where my path started. And I am fully devoted to this essence within, which we could call the feminine as well. We could call the capital F feminine. Yeah. The sun is setting here too, so I'm going to have like different sun. I'm going to scoot a little bit this way. Yeah, we could call that, this essence that I'm speaking about, we could call it the feminine. It's the divine. Yeah. So that's where it started for me.
It's really interesting that you talk about essence, because that was also a part of my initiation, because there was a point where, you know, I was in this dark place and I wasn't getting out of it for a really long time, because of course I didn't know how, and I was just being there, and, you know, like everything was brewing inside of me. And I decided to go to a women's circle. It just showed up on my Facebook, and I decided to go there, and with an intention to just test it. And if it's not good in the first 10 minutes, I'm going to run away. That's it, you know, because I was so blocked. I didn't even know what is women's circle. You know, I was wondering what are these women doing anyway. So I was, you know, I had no idea about spirituality, circles, like nothing. And I just went there. And the women, the facilitator there, she spoke about essence. And she said that when you show somebody their essence, that's the biggest gift you can give to them. And that made me cry. Like, I just sat there, I cried for 2 hours in the circle. I didn't leave, I cried because I didn't know. I didn't know what my essence was. You know, it's like, what does this mean? Who am I?
Oh, wow.
So the essence, the connection to the essence is very deep to my heart. And that's when I started to explore. Like, I want to know, I want to feel, I want to experience that, you know?
Yes.
I want to embody that.
Yes. 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 That's a yes. Yes. We all want to, whether we know it or not, whether we're conscious of it or not. You know, the seeking that we do to try to get anything, it could be relationship, it could be money, it could be career, it could be anything, but that is all, it's all underneath it. What is desired is an experience of union. And that's union with your essence. It's embodiment of essence. It's union of true self. And when you land in that, you're home. You're complete. You've arrived. There's no more seeking because it's all here. So yeah, my work is about a lot of different things, but it's actually always about that. Because that's it. That's like, I teach people how to manifest abundance in their life, but it's about that. I teach people how to attract relationships, but it's about that. When you land in your essence, when you embody your essence, you can create everything. You do create everything.
So when you say irresistible feminine, what do you mean by that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean the essence.
Yeah, I got that.
So our most irresistible expression is our deepest, truest authenticity. It's this deep, honest, vulnerable truth. It doesn't have to be, your authenticity is whatever it is in that moment. There's all different expressions. And for the feminine is all about embodying all. She can feel sad. And when she feels sad, she allows herself to fully go there. She can feel ecstatic. And when she feels ecstatic, she fully goes there. This is irresistible. This is exquisite. This is the divine operating through a person's body. And yeah, I mean, I know for myself in my own life, the more I've allowed what feels like the most true expression to come through me, the more people are attracted to me. They're just like, you can't help but be incredibly attracted to truth, true authenticity. It doesn't matter if it's even scary or ugly or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's real. It's exquisite. And so that really, to me, that's what the irresistible essence of a feminine woman is. It's a woman who can make contact with her deepest truth, and she can allow herself to be alive in that truth. And these are all very deep, the way I'm speaking. I know the mind can be like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, give me the 5 steps.
yeah, what does that mean? And I can give practical steps, but this is not the mind. Listen with your body, listen with your heart, listen with the truth within you, because the truth within you, and I'm speaking to anyone here on this call, it recognizes truth. It's like, I may not know what she's saying, but I know there's something that's true. And we're curious about the truth because we all want it, right? You had that experience at that first women. You were like, essence. That spoke to you. That spoke to your essence. It started to wake up your essence. And it took you on this journey. So yeah, this is the path.
So for women listening, I know a lot of us, live in this busy lifestyle, juggling
Mhm.
different roles and, all the stresses on an everyday life. So how would you suggest, how can one start to embody, or how can one even start to, begin this relationship or cultivate something like this within themselves?
Yes, yes, yes. So important. So it's always going to start with silence, stillness, and deep inner exploration. And sometimes silence and stillness is very, very hard for us, especially when we're really in an urban lifestyle and world. I used to live in that world too, and I actually really love it. But we can get so wound up in the
Mhm.
energy and don't ever stop.
Yeah.
And especially when you're first waking up and you're first waking up to your essence, we can call it feminine essence, you're waking up to truth within you. You need to get really still because it's subtle, it's quiet. It's just going to whisper to you. Or, I mean, for some people, it really like hits them over the head. Some people get an awakening like that. But for most people, even after you have an awakening like that, like the reason I became so embodied was because once I had my first awakening, I dropped everything and I just listened. I just listened. So here's what I would suggest for women is start with like 10 minutes a day. I'd say in the evening, or early morning. Early morning is phenomenal, or the evening. Darker room, maybe light a candle, create sacred space, like you're saying. And with no agenda, no needing something to happen, just sit with yourself and feel your heart and feel deep within yourself. Just start feeling what is there. Get curious. What is there? And I would say in particular, bring awareness down. So you're going to be up here. This is where everyone starts. We're up here. We're in our minds. La, 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 la. Remember to drop your awareness down into your heart, into your body, and simply feel this moment. Just feel. And just through that simple practice, you will start to become aware. You'll become aware of your own subtle energy. You'll start to become aware of your own resonance, like, oh, that feels right. That doesn't feel right. Okay. You'll start to be, this is what embodiment is. You become embodied with your awareness. So that is one suggestion of how women can start to make contact with their own essence.
Mhm. That's interesting. And I know a few women that I worked with, they had really hard time to sit quietly. Like, as you said, that could be the challenge. That was one category. And then there was another category of women who really didn't want that because they didn't want to listen to what is inside of them. Because it was just too much to handle, too much to deal with for now, because so many other things are going on anyways, and I don't have time to deal with this right now. You know what I mean?
Yes. Do you want me to address those too? Yeah. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing those up. So the first one, they have trouble sitting and being quiet. Well, I really get that. It's not, when you're not comfortable in your body and it's not enjoyable to do unless you're connected to your essence. That's the thing. And when you're connected with your essence, you're like, oh, I could sit all day. It's like ecstasy inside your body.
Yeah.
One way to kind of back off the sitting in silence and kind of take it a step back would be to journal, to take 10 minutes and feel and then write. Feel and then write. So you are not writing about, this is an embodiment. We're to awaken embodiment. So we're not writing about here's what I think and here's what's happening in my life. Not that. you're writing about the sensations you feel, or even it could be a thought that comes to you and here's how I feel about that. Just start tracking your inner world. It's about becoming attuned to and tracking your inner world. Yeah, so sitting can be really challenging, but if you maybe can write about what's going on, that's a way for you to start tuning in, and it's not as intense as just sitting in silence. So that's one suggestion for that group. For the other group who they just have too much going on, and they're afraid, it sounds like, I mean, I get that, because it will turn your world upside down. Like that's what awakening does. It's the best turned upside down you could ever have. You recognize that you would never want it any other way, but there is a lot that changes after an awakening. There's a lot, because what happens is you can't lie to yourself anymore. And anything, this is what happened to me, not to, again, it's all for beauty. It's all for beauty. But what happened to me was everything in my life that was not in alignment with my true essence had to crumble. And that's a hard process. And so especially women or people who have their lives all together and they can feel, there's an intuitive sense that this is going to be big and I'm not ready to look and I'm not ready to go there. And for me, I would say if I was working with someone like that, I would really honor that. Like, that's okay. You don't have to. No one has to go where they don't want to go.
Yeah.
Like you go when you're ready. And yeah, you get to not go, and that's okay. What will happen is life lived in an unawake way will eventually get so painful that they'll have to wake up, because it's not fun. It's not fun to be unconscious. Even if you're keeping everything pretty, it's not enjoyable. So, but they have to do that on their own time, and their being will eventually be ready. And then the process will start to happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I like when you say that they don't have to. And this is so true. There is no race here. There is no competition. No. And we cannot bring in, again, the masculine paradigm to this subtle energy that, okay, if I find something, then something inside of me, then I'll have to do something about it. Like we go into problem solving, and we are already problem solving so many things. I think we don't want another thing to be added, but you don't have to.
Right. Just honoring what is. And like, I don't, I was going to say, I don't push anyone, and I don't know if that's actually true, but I really listen. And I would never, if someone is like, no, like saying no, if someone's being is like, I'm not ready, I'm scared, then yeah, it's okay. We slow down. You don't have to go anywhere. Just be. And yeah, I think that's the biggest service to people who are in that position. It's of course case by case. You never really know. But yeah, that's what I would say. I love what you said. We don't have to bring the masculine paradigm in. We don't have to bring that pushing. We all have to be at this certain point. We all have an obligation. We have a reason. It's like, no, this is just life, and it's unfolding however it unfolds. And let's just let that be what it is. Yeah.
So tell us what else can we do to embody our irresistible feminine energy?
Well, here's some more, even more actionable and less about awakening, but more actionable exercise. One of my favorite ones is us women are quite intuitive, even if we don't know that we are. And I imagine women drawn to this conversation are intuitive women. And we can consciously and intentionally embody particular flavors or frequencies of energy. And so one thing that I have played with a lot in my life, especially a couple years ago when I was really awakening my feminine energy, was I'd choose a particular frequency of the feminine. Now, it's a whole range. Like the feminine is a warrior, and she's a compassionate heart mother, and she is like the sensual lover. You know, there's all different flavors. So I would choose a particular frequency. Let's just say elegance could be a frequency. And I'd start tuning into what is elegance as a frequency of energy. Because elegance feels a particular way, right? Like there's happy, that feels one way. There's depressed, that feels another way. There's elegance. So what is elegance? And as I start to tune into that flavor of elegance, I can start to feel it in my own body, in my own system. What is elegance? Oh, it's poised. It's regal. She's sophisticated. She's the queen. And as I sit and simmer in this frequency, I can start to embody that energy, that feminine energy, that very particular flavor. And as we embody these flavors, the world then starts to reflect back to us. They see us as that. They see us as that frequency of energy. So I've done this a lot. I've been the warrior. I've been I've been it all. I've played with being it all, the rebel, the little girl, all these different flavors, tuning in. Well, what's that part? I want to be that part too. What does that part do? And this is just a beautiful way for us to start to embody our fullness, embody all the different parts of who we are, because we are all these expressions. Nothing is off limits. And this is, I found a really fun way to ignite our feminine energy through these different archetypes and frequencies of energy.
That's interesting. So how would you recommend adding this dynamics to relationships? Let's say, when things are not working out really well, or we would like to, probably it's a bit stagnant at the point, and, we want to improve something in our current relationship. How would we embody this?
How would we embody the feminine?
Yeah, and this irresistible factor, as you say.
Okay, the irresistible factor in relationships. Let me see. Well, we have to understand first and foremost that people see us the way we see ourselves. And so part of what is so challenging about intimate relationships in particular is we tend to give our power away, and we want the validation to come from the outside, from the partner.
Yes.
We want him to see us as beautiful. We want him to see us as worthy. We want him to see us. But anytime we are chasing that in another person, what it means is we have lost our own connection to that truth within. So anything you are seeking from another person, from the outside, you have to embody that within yourself, first and foremost. So if you are seeking validation from your partner that you are beautiful, stop asking him, or even energetically asking him. Stop energetically needing or asking him to give you that validation, and go right into your own process. Start making contact with your own beauty, your own recognition of how beautiful you are. Deepen into that, embody it through your whole being. And then he will have no choice but to see how exquisite you are. He has no choice. I've really experienced the truth of this in my own relationships as well, because I've just really seen how, my current partner is absolutely, completely, magnetically, like, he cannot get enough of me. He can't, like, of my body, of my everything. And I know that I attracted a partner in like that because of, it's not that I can't get enough of myself, but I'm so in love. It's not even correct at this point to say I'm in love with myself, or I just am in love with life through this body. I am love. And so of course he's going to see the exquisiteness that's pouring through me all the time, and he's just fully drawn to it. But he's offering me a reflection of what I already am. So yeah, this is how we do it. Anything you are seeking in a relationship, you got to take note of exactly what that is, and you got to start really embodying it within, and that will shift dynamics in relationships, and you will also shift who you attract into your life.
Yeah, I had a personal experience of this as well, and I think a lot of women feel that they become this needy person in the relationship, or seek validation, or even go into pleasing the other person, kind of losing their own identity, and then thinking, I did everything for the relationship, but it didn't work. And
yeah, that's not. I talk about this particular dynamic in one of my courses, because this is a big one that's a big mistake a lot of women do. They think that they think giving and sacrifice are the same thing. And they don't recognize that what they're actually doing is sacrificing themselves. So it's a depletion process. They're depleting themselves to show up for the partner. They're depleting themselves to show up for the relationship. When you are in energetic depletion, your relationship is going to be depleted. It's just always a mirror for what's happening inside of you. So true giving comes from, I am already full, and I offer because that is the authentic expression that wants to come through me. And sometimes, I don't think women, or some women don't understand how sexy it is if you're a woman who says no, or says like, no, that doesn't work for me. Like a powerful woman who is in her truth and knows her yes and knows her no. It's so hot to a man, because that's, again, it's back to the first point. It's authentic. It's real. It's truth. That's the hottest energy there is. There is nothing more beautiful. And he may not like it. It may be intimidating. It may be all these things. He may not think he likes it. But the truth is, we're attracted to truth. So, don't self-sacrifice. It will never benefit your relationship, ever. You will be depleted. The relationship will be depleted. It doesn't feel good to your man either. Like he feels energetically when you're pleasing him, and it's not a turn on. He wants a woman who's embodied in her own energy and knows who she is, and says yes and says no. That's it.
Yeah, and like when you say that the work that has to be done is within, all the time. It's all inside of us and in us. And we need to stop seeking and expecting other people's to change, other people's behaviors to change towards us, or they've hurt us or something. It's all about what we embody and how we carry ourselves, isn't it?
It is. It always comes back to that. And it always comes back to, it's easy to focus out there on the other person. It's very easy to focus out there, but it always comes back to ourselves and how embodied in our truth are we being. And this kind of comes back to the title of the course, to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. The more living and embodied in your truth, in your feminine essence you are, the world automatically forms around you in the most exquisite way. In your own wholeness, as a living embodiment of your wholeness, life created through you and in front of you is absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing you have to do. You don't even have to consciously create it. It just happens. It unfolds before your eyes that way, because everything is a reflection of us. Everything. So always come back to yourself. Always come back to that truth within. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just channeling some questions here and thinking that, for some of the women, it may be easy to say, let me reframe it. So some women may think that, oh, it may be easy for you because you have the resources, you have the company, you have the experience, you're in a nice place, and but I am in this sad place. I'm hurt. I'm in pain. My feelings have been hurt, and I cannot see beyond it.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Well, I was there too. That's how I got here. is by being there. Like truthfully, like heartbreak. People have asked me, they're like, where did you study? How did you learn all this about relationships? I was like, where did I study? I studied in heartbreak. That's what I studied.
The real way.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have a graduate degree, but I didn't learn any of this in graduate school. I learned it when I was like on my floor dying of heartbreak. I know that you can't get past it. And so the thing to do in this moment is stay so close to yourself. I'm going to give a book recommendation. I have a book recommendation. I also have a course that really helps people through heartbreak. My course is called Free Yourself, and it's how to unhook these really uncomfortable feelings within. It's called Free Yourself. I actually have a free ebook with that course as well. The book is called The Deepest Acceptance by Jeff Foster. And it's really the only book I recommend at this point. I mean, not that there's many lovely books out there, but this book was so profound in my own healing. You have to take a step by step through heartbreak. And the way to move through is by being very close to yourself, your felt experience, your actual heartbreak, feeling the heartbreak. The more you allow yourself to really feel it, the faster you will move through. I will also say that inner child work is a way that I have really healed myself through these types of experiences, which is the heartbreak it's a wounded little girl. That's how it feels inside my body. It's my wounded little girl who has not been seen, has not been heard, has been abandoned, is not being cared for, and she's broken. She feels broken. And so we have to take our adult selves, if you want to think of it that way, or your more expanded self down to that little girl and be like, sweetheart, I am here and I see you and I get you. We need to offer her what someone else couldn't give her. We need to offer that wounded little one inside of us what the relationship didn't give her. We have to show up for her and see her and allow her to feel whatever she feels. And this is how very, very deep deep healing happens of our inner wounds. So that was a lot. There's a lot of options there, but really it's this deep inner work, and it's pain. It's not fun. No, it's not fun to be in heartbreak. I would go back and do it again because I had to do it to get here. And when we can be with ourselves in those states of being, we're unstoppable. We're fully unstoppable. There's nothing you can't do. But it's a hard time. I get that. I really hear that. I also have on my blog a lot of articles there's a healing heartbreak blog category. Free articles go in there. So lots of resources on my website.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I know what has worked for me as well is to reach out for support,
Oh, yeah.
Not to go through it by yourself, and,
Right.
Get curious. Who is there who can help you? Who is there who can listen to you, see you, witness you?
Yes, beautiful.
In a non-judgmental way.
Yes. Thank you for that. That's so true. Having support, having women around you, having women who have been there, who can help you through, help you see yourself, help you remember who you are. Very, very important. Yes.
Yeah. And I like when you say that, help you remember who you are, because of course,
Yes.
we also tend to have these these kind of girlfriends and companies where, you may just go and, bitch about things, and that's not who you are. You need to look for conscious company who can lift you up and make you see who you really are.
Right. Yeah, and you find the beings or the people where they're carrying the message, and if you resonate, just keep going back. Like the transmission will happen. You'll keep receiving that truth until you start embodying it in yourself more and more. So definitely find the people who are who you resonate with, who your heart is like, yeah, this is true, this is it. Keep going back to them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Shelly, would you share with us what your free gift is for the women listening today?
Yeah. So my free gift is called How to Become the Most Attractive Version of Yourself. It's my ebook. It's incredibly popular. People have really loved this ebook. Yeah.
I've read that too. Yeah. It's highly recommended. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about what we're speaking about today. It's about tuning in the truth, it's actually 4 steps in this book, and how to really tune in and embody your exquisite, irresistible, attractive energy, which is the true nature of who you are.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your medicine here. I really feel that women listening can get the essence of their essence through this transmission.
Love that. Then we did our job. I know sometimes, again, if you've been listening and you're like, wait, my mind doesn't get it, just the body knows, the essence knows. So thank you for saying that. It's beautiful.
So in closing, I'd like to ask a question that I'm asking every single teacher in this online temple, and which is, in a line or two, can you share with us, what does rising feminine mean to you in this given time?
Oh, yeah. It's on.
It's on.
It's on, baby. I mean, that's the line. That's the line. It's happening. It's time. It's happening. It's on. Let's do it, baby.
Yay. Thank you so much, Shelly, for your presence here, and sharing your magnetic presence here as well. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Such a pleasure. Bye-bye.